Hello and welcome to episode 104 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. This is going to be Friday Night SmackDown for February Week 2, 2021, and the road to the SmackDown branded No Way Out pay-per-view continues. Without any further ado, let's just jump straight into the show.
Close your eyes, surrender your beliefs, holding, wait patiently to hear whatever changing lines are showing. The week will come. All I wanted was friends to put the chains and divide us. It's all the worst that's inside us. We'll pray on the violence, the violence.
The show opens with VIP Nation in the ring, and MVP's talking about he's hyping up his man Bobby Lashley. He says that he's got his Elimination Chamber qualifier up first tonight against Luchasaurus, and he's going to beat that dinosaur son of a bitch, and he's going to punch his ticket to No Way Out. And then when he wins that Elimination Chamber, carrying cross, his mystique will all fade when he realises that there is a real tough son of a bitch. He hasn't got to attack people from behind in the almighty Bobby Lashley. Like, there's one spot left in there. Shelton, he can get that opportunity. Maybe there'll be two members of VIP Nation in the Elimination Chamber. We need to go have a word with Adam Pearce to find out if that's going to happen. But for now, Luchasaurus, bring your dragony ass out here. And I'll come past the dragon for the match. Luchasaurus versus Bobby Lashley. Which gets a 74. Would have done even better if I'd put a storyline in it, apparently. But Lashley beats Luchasaurus in 10:40 with a spear to punch his ticket to the Elimination Chamber. And I believe it's now Keith Lee, AJ Styles, Bobby Lashley, and who else have I confirmed? Braun Strowman. Yeah, those four so far, with two more yet to be announced. One of them will be confirmed later on tonight in a match between Dolph Ziggler and Angel Garza. And the other one will be announced next week. Maybe MVP will get his wish and Shelton will be in it. Maybe not. Usos are being interviewed by Kayla, and she's talking about the challenge that the Street Profits laid down last week. And then they're like, well, you see, Us, we were hyping up Dominik and Rey Mysterio because they're also family like us. And the Street Profits, while not physically family, they do talk about how they feel like they're brothers, but there ain't no one closer than actual brothers like me and my twin brother Us. So if they want us to catch that smoke at No Way Out, we'll see you there, Us. So it's going to be Usos versus the Street Profits for the tag titles at No Way Out. Where does this leave Dominik and Rey Mysterio? Who knows? But they're not getting the title shot on No Way Out because that's going to the Street Profits. A women's Elimination Chamber hype-up match, just not a qualifier because we have already announced all the participants. It's just two people who are in that match, in Bayley and Mandy Rose having a match on Raw. Not on Raw, on SmackDown. And Bayley beats Mandy in 10 minutes. Or 9:51 to be precise, with the headlock driver. 66 for Bayley and a 46 for Mandy. And a 66 for the match overall, which is pretty good considering the ratings they got. And Bayley gets the momentum rolling towards Elimination Chamber. Backstage, Bivens is like, he arrives at the office and he's like, is Keith Lee here? Pierce is like, no, he's not here tonight. He's not booked for the show. And he's like, you've really got to do something about that guy. And Pierce is like, excuse me? It's like, last week he came in here and he grabbed me by the throat and he threatened me. And you rewarded him by putting him in the Elimination Chamber. Didn't even have to qualify, man. I'm starting to feel like you're not taking this job as the general manager very seriously. And you're walking all over me as your assistant, when in reality I've booked a hell of a lot more better shows that have been more quickly acclaimed by wrestlers such as Chad Gable, AJ Styles. They all want me in power. You need to start pulling your weight, Adam. That's when King Corbin walks in. He's like, the short guy makes a great point. And of course Bivens would be like, look all shocked at Corbin calling him the short guy and all offended. He's like, you booked me in that match with Daniel Bryan last month, but you didn't just put me in the Universal Championship match at the World Rumble even though I was owed a shot at the title. You made me earn it against Daniel Bryan. But you can put Keith Lee in the Elimination Chamber for no reason. even though he wasn't earned a Universal title shot because he didn't win the Royal Rumble. So, I want you to make good. I want you to put me in the chamber. And Pierce is like, Corbin, you can't just come in here and demand to be put in the Elimination Chamber. That's not how it works. And Bivens is like, shut up, Adam. I also have power here. And King, even though you may have offended me with the hype-based comment a minute ago, you make some great points. Pierce, he hasn't been pulling his weight here. And you're in, King. You're in the Elimination Chamber. And then you take there's one spot left. We're going to have Garza and Dolph Ziggler later on tonight. There's still one more remaining spot. I'm giving that to you, King. You're in. And then Corbin smiles like, oh, really? Thanks, short stack. And he pats him on the head and he walks off. And Biv's like, what the hell are you doing, man? And Bivens just shoves him. He shrugs. He's like, if you can just put Keith Lee in the Elimination Chamber, I can just put King Corbin in the Elimination Chamber. If you're going to play favourites, so can I. So a little bit of tension between the two general managers here on SmackDown. And King Corbin has now weaseled his way into the Elimination Chamber. Fucking good heavens above. In a 77, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, the Street Profits, defeat Death from Above. In 12:03, Montez Ford gets the pinfall over Grand Metalik with a frog splash. In a 77, Grand Metalik scores a 74. Lince Dorado scores a 60. Goddamn! Wait, what's happening here?
We made it. The message will be delivered.
Are we back? Hello? Testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Lince Dorado gets a 65, Metalik a 74, 63 for Angelo, and a 63 for Montez Ford. 77 match. That absolutely blew my expectations out of the water. Backstage, Paige is there. And she's talking to her old friends, Kaylee Ray and Nikki Cross, and she says, I saw your debut last week. You two tough Scots are going to go at it together. And you're going to be a great tag team here on SmackDown. And that's when Nikki's like, thanks, Paige. Well, what's next for you? What are you doing there? Paige's like, I don't know. I'd have liked to be in the Elimination Chamber, but I understand why they left me out. Because I do still have the neck, but I've told them my neck is fine, but if they don't want to put me in the chamber, that's their prerogative. That's when the tag team champs walk up, and they're like, oh, look at cute little Paige. Hyping up her Scottish little best friends. When in reality, Ruby, these two have won one tag team match, yet they think they can step to us. We've bonded over the last 8 months, maybe, I think, yeah. Now. And there's no way these two have teamed one time, but because they're from the same little country over the pond, they think they can beat us. And Kaylee Ray's like, it's not because we've only teamed once. That doesn't matter, we can team never and we'll still beat you because we are two of the toughest, hardest Scottish gals this side of the Pacific. And we've got another match here tonight against 2 more British women in Sugar Rush. And we're going to keep the momentum rolling, and you're going to be surprised when we take those titles off you after only 3 weeks at the Royal Rumble. And they leave, and then they just look at Paige, and they're like, well, Candice and Ruby, that is. Look at Paige, and they mock Paige. They're like, oh, your little friends, you're going to see your little friends lose. Shame that you can't really do anything about it, Paige. 48 is actually better than I thought this match would do. Kaylee Ray and Nikki Cross defeat Sugar Rush, of course. In 8:21, Kaylee Ray pins Zaya with the reverse code red. 49 for Nikki, 34 for Kaylee Ray, 41 for Zaya, and a 40 for Candy Floss. Fair enough. A very British heavy match here on SmackDown. Chad Gable promo. He's talking about how he is an Olympic medalist and the United States champion, how he's the greatest athlete here on SmackDown. You see, people marvel at people like Apollo Crews because they've got the abs, they've got the size, and they can do the flips and the acrobatics. In reality, there's no one better than Chad Gable. Chad Gable can outlift Apollo Crews. Chad Gable can out-wrestle Apollo Crews. Chad Gable can... He's smarter than Apollo Crews. He can do everything that Apollo Crews can do and better. And next week we're going to find out when these two take in sporting challenges. There'll be free tests of skill in like 3 different sports. And just to see who the better athlete really is between these two men. So look forward to that. 81 match. This could have easily been the main event, but I've put faith in the women. Garza takes the last spot in the Elimination Chamber. He beats Dolph Ziggler with the wing clipper in 12:44. 72 for Angel Garza and a 75 for Dolph Ziggler. And that wraps up the field. So it will be at No Way Out. It will be Keith Lee versus Braun Strowman versus AJ Styles versus Bobby Lashley versus King Corbin versus Angel Garza, with the winner receiving a Universal title match at WrestleMania. Probably night 1, because the main event of night 2 will be the WWE Champion against John Cena. And then the main event of night 1, I intend on being one of the women's title matches. Because it has to be. Because that was the challenge I was left.
You got me feeling diamond rich. Nothing on this planet compares to it. Don't you agree? Who needs to go to sleep when I got you next to me? All night I ride with you. I know you got my back, and you know I got you. So come up, lights out, follow the noise. Baby, keep on dancing like you ain't got a choice. So come up, come up, come on, let's get physical. Adrenaline keeps on.
There we go, that's more like it. I knew there was something I did wrong last week. Karrion Kross can cut a promo. And he does again. Pretty much the same thing as last week. He says, "Nobody stepped up to me. I'm here to claim this yard as my own and make this my own personal wasteland. TikTok, SmackDown, because your Universal Champion is here and Doomsday is coming." When the smoke rises and the red lights flash off as he holds his title up high. But from the smoke rises Daniel Bryan. Do not forget that along with Roman Reigns, this man got taken out probably about a month ago now. Because it was on week 3 of January, so 3 weeks ago. He was taken out by Karrion Kross and taken out of the Universal Championship match at the Royal Rumble that was supposed to be his, that Karrion Kross then entered and won. And banished the old champion from the company. But he rises behind Karrion Kross and he jumps from behind. And he grounds the big man for the first time. And he starts delivering the S-kicks to him. But Kross does grab the last one. And he hits like that big belly to back suplex on Bryan a couple of times. Then he goes to lock him in the cross jacket, but Bryan fights his way out. He goes to give him a big knee, Kross staggers and leaves the ring. So Daniel Bryan making his message clear that he should be the Universal Champion. And he's taking the fight to the big man. I'll take this. It wasn't as good as Garza and Ziggler, but it will be fine. Sasha Banks wins the feud. She defeats Ember Moon in the cage match in 14:40 when she escapes the cage. Indy and Mickie James do the thing where they try and climb on the outside of the cage, but Ember will knock them off by throwing Sasha into him or whatever. So it will be 1-on-1, but in the end Sasha Banks does overcome the odds and she escapes with the SmackDown Women's title. Not all 100% a good thing, because this does now mean that she has to enter the Elimination Chamber. It'll be herself, Bayley, Shayna Baszler, Alexa Bliss, Dakota Kai and Mandy Rose for the SmackDown Women's Championship and the right to win that and face presumably Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. But for now, Sasha's on cloud 9. For an 81 rated show, we don't get any popularity changes, which is okay. But what matters more than the 81 is what you thought of the show. So do let me know what you thought in the comments below, and I'll see you next time for episode 105. Which, it's going to be weird to say this because it's only week 3, but it is the go-home show for Fastlane on the Raw side. So, hopefully I'll see you then.